It's that time of year when we start to cover the crops in the gardens to give them a little bit more warmth and protection to hopefully speed up the growth of the plants in the cool weather. I use a lot of covers and netting and ground cover fabric on the gardens, which can be very useful, but it can also be a hassle to gather together and store, and then to lay out in the gardens again, especially in windy conditions and when working by myself. I used to fold this material or roll it up, both of which work, but this is a hassle and I need a clear empty space to do this easily and effectively. But I picked up an idea from somewhere about braiding or knotting covers like this, making a chain to gather the material up while walking down the bed. The results look like a braid or a plait, but I think it's a simple crochet chain where I first create a loop, push my arm through like a crochet needle, grab onto the material and bring it back through the loop, creating a new loop, and continue the process until the end of the cover is reached. This is the most useful method I found for gathering up most of the different types of sheet material that I use in the gardens, some of which are over 20 meters long and can be quite wide. I just need to be able to gather most of the material in one hand to pull it through the loop. This significantly reduces the length of the sheets, and it is much more compact and easier to carry and move around without damaging the material. I find it best to hang these chains somewhere off the ground, under cover, where it can dry, where it will also be less likely to get dirty and damaged, and not so accessible for rats and mice to burrow into to make their nests, which usually destroys the material. Undoing the chain is fairly easy, especially with smooth material that will simply undo by securing one end and pulling. But with crop covers and other material, there can be too much friction, so it is better to gently undo the loops as I go along. I find this a much more useful way to deal with all of this material, especially when dealing with longer lengths of bed and when working on a windy site. But I have had birds making a nest in the hanging material, which does present me with a dilemma about removing the covers to use them at all.